Hey, welcome to this edition of the Dean's Video Newsletter. And to all of you who are returning back to school, welcome back to campus. To those who are joining us for the first time in the Schulich School of Medicine and Dentistry, welcome. You'll find that this is a wonderful campus to be on. There are lots of activities, lots of clubs, things to do, and you'll find that your teachers and profs are very, very approachable. So welcome aboard. We look forward to seeing you for the next several years while you're here. Today we're going to talk about the strategic planning process, and specifically the renewal that we're in the midst of. Many of you will remember when I first came on board as Dean in my first term, we actually went through a strategic planning process to lead us into our Optimizing Lifelong Health mandate, which was really a 10-year plan taking us to 2021. In the course of that, we also promised that we would return at specific intervals of time to measure our achievements and to make sure that we were still on track. Any strategic plan should be a living document. It shouldn't be a document that just sits on the shelf. So this is really an exercise to ask the questions, are we on track? Are there deliverables that we didn't identify when we first went into the process that have changed? And are there different goals that we might want to be setting with regards to our metrics? So a good example of that is to revisit our questions with regards to research infrastructure. Right? When we started this process, nobody would have predicted where we would be today in terms of CIHR funding, match programs and such. That's really changed the complexity of how we look at funding our research program. So, do we have the right resources in place? Are we moving in the right directions? Do we need to be making any changes along the way that will help us weather this particularly difficult period of time with that? One wouldn't have anticipated 5 years ago the degree to which competency-based training was going to have an impact on all of our programs. And it's quite clear that we need to be thinking about simulation as a cornerstone to that. But as a school, we've really not had the fundamental discussion as to what extent do we resource simulation. Clearly, it's going to be an academic program. There's no doubt in my mind with regards to that. But it can be an academic program or it can be a Cadillac. Well, where do we need to be between all of those? So that's part of the strategic planning process. It's being led up by Margaret Steele, who's our Vice Dean of Hospital Interfaculty Relations. And we've hired Ann Becker, who many of you will be familiar with, as our strategic oversight for this, and who actually is helping facilitate it all. So that process is beginning as we speak. A selection of a committee has been put into place to oversee all of that. To all of you who volunteered to help there, I really appreciate that. And from that group, we've had a number of individuals who are actually making up the core group. My expectation is that we will move through this fairly quickly. It doesn't have to be a one-year process. It really is looking at what have we done, how does it measure against what we said we were going to do, what are the changes that need to be done. There'll be plenty of opportunities to be engaged in that process as we move forward, and I would like to see it completed by the spring so that we're then moving forward strategically and implementing. So thank you very much for tuning in to this video newsletter. I look forward to talking to you again in the very near future. We'll continue to do these about once every month and a half or so that it's a mechanism by which we can keep everybody informed. So in the meantime, again, welcome back to the school. Enjoy all that we have to offer, and certainly enjoy all that Western and London has to offer. It's a great city to be going to school in. Thank you very much.